All right, let's get into the car that we upgraded here. So this is the Typhon. This is actually the second RC car that I bought, believe it or not, because I busted the other one on a curve and I actually put it back together. Let me sit this down. I don't know why I had to throw that clean across the room, but it did. All right, so here is the Spectrum 1900 kV motor. I just took this out there and ran it. Coming stock out of the box with this 130 amp ESC, it will fit in here. It will fit in here nicely. The only thing that I will say is that if you place the ESC right here, which I wanted to kind of keep it where, you know, kind of how they would have given it to us, or, you know, whatever. So the only thing about it is when you go to put your body on, you just kind of, you have to press that in and get it in there because it does hit right in here. But it's not too bad. Like, it's not bad enough to where you're having like overly force. It's not terrible. So I don't mind it. I did go ahead and put this in there though. This does come, the timing is set at 15, and then I believe the punch is set at 6. I bumped the timing up to 18, I believe, and I bumped the punch down to 5 because this thing was wheeling like crazy. I do have the wheelie bar on there. I like a little bit of a wheelie. This is going to be just a kind of a, you know, run it quicker than my other Typhon, but still have a good time with it type of vehicle. So it's going to be used similar to my other Typhon. I'll probably put some street tires on this one eventually and run it. I got some GRPs, but the GRPs don't really fit unless I use these hot racing adapters. And I like the hot racing adapters, but you know, you got to think about the weight of the vehicle as well too, kind of where you're putting it. And I mean, for me, I'm okay with, you know, settling for some other tires. Like, I know that like Banditos or whatever, I know that they make buggy tires, or I think it's Duramax or similar to this tread pattern, I think. And they make buggy tires as well too. So I'm probably gonna try those out. And plus they're very similar in size to what's already on the car. So I wanna give those a shot. I did go ahead and put this hot racing drive shaft in here. You hear it click. I also put the metal spur in there, and then I got the steel diffs in there as well. I did try these out. Don't want to get anybody confused. Like I said, these are not I have these in there. This is just more me letting me know that these are the ones that I use. So I put the tags in there with both of these, just so that I know that, hey, these are the ones that I used before I took these out of this car to try the steel ones. And the steel ones, when I got them, they came with about 4 to 5 shims on each one. And I noticed that when I got these, the metal ones, the first ones that they made here, they only had 1 shim. And the shim was on this side, which you had to use, which I'm going to see if I can zoom in here. See if it will focus. I'm probably have to just take one out of the bag. Now, let me do this. So I'm trying to work everything with one hand here. Sorry for the inconvenience of my thumb and finger, so I don't drop something in the process. All right, get it back on the camera. Okay, cool. So these are the metal ones. This is what they look like. I did get this one to flow, or, you know, I get them to flow pretty good. But I had to use a little rubber and put there's like a little rubber piece in here that I use. So basically shim this so it couldn't close as tight to let it flow a little bit more freely. I'm not a big fan. I like my dip to have a perfect match, you know, just like your pinion and your spur, right? You want this to have a good mash. You want it to free flow. You don't want any friction, you know, unnecessary weird friction in certain spots. You know, you just don't want that. Yeah, they'll probably wear in, but you know, I'd much rather have them good out the gate. But I noticed that, like I said, they put a shim on this side and you can't put it on the other side. You would have to get more shims to even this thing out if it doesn't, you know, mesh well, because you have to leave it on this side because it's raised right here where they put the screws to screw the spur on, right? So the steel one doesn't have this. Like, it doesn't have these little raised spots right there. See if I can get it to focus, so that way you can see what I'm talking about. But there's little raised spots right there, and unless you shim that side, it's gonna hit the inside of that, right? So you have to shim it. You can't shim this side. And by shimming this side, what you're doing is you're allowing this gear to sit closer to this. So if it's already tight, you got to find a way to loosen it up. And the only way you can do that is you can try shimming this side, but what I found to work the best is that you need to get like a washer or a piece of rubber that comes with like the servo, you know, when you go to space out your servo. See if I can put this in some more light here. But you need to put it in between here, and you can't see it because I got the screw in there, but it will help keep this separated just enough so that way when you tighten it down in your car, this still moves pretty freely. And they worked okay, they worked fine. I got no complaints against them other than the fact that they don't give you enough shims when you order these. And the steel ones work 10 times better than, or well, I wouldn't say 10 times, but they work a lot better than these as soon as you get them. And they're literally only 10 bucks more. So I just didn't see the value and why they're still selling these. I guess maybe if somebody wants to save $10 and, you know, whatever, but I think you got to go with the steel ones. The steel ones work the best. See, what else did I do to upgrade this car? I mean, I am going to try to get this out in a couple of days and run it and get some video of it as I drop a diff in the floor. I am going to try to get some video and run this so that way you guys can see it run. I am going to order like a little GPS so that way we can see how fast it is. I am running I am running a steel 50 on the spur, and then I'm running a 20 size on the pinion, mod 8. That's what I'm running. And I could probably go a little bit higher. I got this thing on 18 on timing. I could probably go a little bit higher on the pinion gear before this thing gets, you know, probably too hot. I do notice that, you know, it warms up a little bit, but, you know, it's pretty right on par with how my other vehicles heat up. So I'm pretty happy with it. Now I could bump it up to 22, which if you look at the timing on most vehicles, especially like your felony, your infraction, or you know, any that uses these bigger motors, right? They're gonna have most of them have 22 timing for the most part. Like I know the felony does. So, you know, I could bump it up to 22, but I noticed that between 22 and 18, I think 18 is more of a sweet spot for this motor and probably is more of a sweet spot for this rig, honestly. So I don't think 22 is really necessary to bump the timing. I know it's gonna give me more speed, but it's also going to give me more heat to my motor as well too. So I don't know that I want to do that. I was going to think about trying out some different drive shafts for the car, for the wheels, to the diffs here. But there's just not a lot of options out there. I mean, there's the hot racing ones, and then there's like some like from rc.net or something like that. I can't remember the name. But there's a couple other options. Want to go with something that's a little bit more sturdy. I'm not a fan of the way that these screw in. Sometimes they're very prone to coming out. I know you can use Loctite and whatnot, but you know, I'm just like, I like stuff that's a little bit more convenient. Like I added the CVD slider set to my Vortex. I love them. You know, you screw it in, you know, right in here, there's like a little spot there where you can use those, and they don't work on the Typhon. I wish they would make a pair for the Typhon. I wish Arrma would make a pair of those CVD slider sets for the vehicles that do use this 12 millimeter hex, because the ones that you can get for I believe it's the Vortex and what's the other short wheelbase chassis I'm thinking about the Arrma has, but it works with those. But for whatever reason, like I could get them to work, but I would have to take off, like I'd probably have to redo the bearing carrier for the wheels and the housing, you know, switch them over and do something different there. But wish they made one. I do have a hot racing motor mount plate in here as well too. When I swapped the motor out, I've had that for a while, just finally decided to use it since I was going ahead and upgrading this vehicle. I thought about getting some Proline shocks to put on this vehicle as well too, but I've kind of changed my mind on that. You know, for $60 plus for some shocks, and they don't even have a way to, you know, buy some of the pieces or the parts separately to fix the shock if something goes wrong. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, you're $120, $130 for a set of shocks, and you don't even have replacement parts for them. So Proline, I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna have to stay away from your shocks until you know, come out with some parts to where, if, you know, I've been one of the shafts, I can just take the shaft out and put in a new one. And I know what everybody's gonna say, you can probably go find another shaft out there and all that, but you know, I'm just not about that. I mean, I feel like a product that's gonna cost that much, you gotta have replacement parts on the shelf. It just doesn't make any sense. But other than that, guys, I just wanted to show this to you. So far, the motor's been great. It's been very efficient. It's been very good. I've gotten more speed, obviously gotten a lot more torque, you know, and, you know, I'm still kind of playing with it, how I want to tune it. I may even, you know, bring the punch level down even further, or I may even bump it up, just see what happens. So, you know, tune into the videos, like and subscribe, comment. If you'd like to see something different, or if you'd like to see something else that I got. Also got the big boy Creighton 8S down here. And then we turn around and I got the Lambo Felony. That's right, Lambo Felony. And we got some new Prolines over there. It's just been waiting to smoke the pavement. So y'all come join us. You know, come subscribe to the channel. We're gonna try to get this thing up and running. I may not be able to get to do another video. I'm pretty busy, so I'm gonna try to do another video before the week is over. But you know what? If I get 5 or 10 likes on this video, man, I'll drop a video tomorrow. Holla at me, peace.